Alright, good morning YouTube. How's it going? I guess this morning I just want to cover things that go wrong in the trucking game. And just go over a little bit about what's been going on with this thing. And try and keep y'all updated on it. And let you know what it costs to fix it and what you're looking at when you're getting into being an owner-operator. The expenses that you got, and really just saving for that day, you know. Like I said, things really haven't been running real good with my company. Been running 3 or 4 loads a week. That makes for some paychecks that hurt pretty bad. You know, you got to live too, you know. You got to have enough to cover your personal bills and all that kind of stuff. And you know, still have money left over to put into your business like you're supposed to. Well, when you're running, you know, 2 or 3 days a week, it makes it kind of hard to do that. So my business account has got pretty low. I'm not gonna be honest with you, or I'm gonna be honest with you, not gonna lie to you. It's gotten pretty low, and now I got an issue with the truck, and it makes for some hella nerves. I'm not gonna lie. It makes for some pretty bad nervousness going on. But just show you a little bit about what's going on. You can see this right here. Try and show that to you. That wear on that tire. I got wire showing right here. Just crazy wearing on that. I know you probably can't see it, but it's just like waves of flat spots through the tire on the truck. And a little bit about what's going on the past couple days. I've noticed some steering wheels shake. Now, when I got the truck, it was shaking in the rear end. After I got out from under a heavy load, when they unloaded it and I was on my way home, the rear end would shake really bad. And especially if I pulled a 20-foot container, it would just shake really bad. But that kind of stopped over time. Really hadn't had too much more of an issue with it. Well, the past couple of days, I've noticed some pretty heavy shaking in my steering wheel, slowing down when I get in between 50 and 40 miles an hour. And when I'm speeding up, if I'm not speeding up really fast, if I'm just kind of gradually speeding up, steering wheel is just shaking like crazy. And I really hadn't noticed anything. I've checked out the truck. I've looked all around. Can't find anything. And then yesterday I got back home and was doing my post-trip inspection, and I noticed these spots on my tire. And man, they're just horrible. They're not all the way, if you look at the tire, they're not all the way around the tire. You know what I'm saying? So when I did my pre-trip yesterday morning, I was obviously looking at a part of the tire that was in okay shape. The problem area is like from here to maybe here on the tire. This area right here. So I have no idea what could be causing it. I've looked up some of the other guys on YouTube's videos. They're saying it could be a leveling rod in the back. Kingpins, like who knows really. So I'm about to take it up to the tire shop now, and hope and pray that I get there without blowing this tire out, because it's in bad shape. So I'll keep y'all updated on what's going on, and try and keep y'all updated on the price, what I'm looking at, and if I'm gonna make it or not, because right now I just don't know. So I'll get with you guys in a little bit. I'll probably put this all in the same video. Just what goes on today. So if anybody's got any ideas so I don't get screwed over at the dealership, that would be great. Nobody's even watching these videos yet. Who am I kidding? But anyway, who knows? So yeah, I'll be back at you in just a little bit. Alright, what's going on, YouTube? Alright, so talked to you this morning about everything going on with the truck. And told you I'd get back with you. It's been a busy day, to say the least. And in the end, didn't get anything resolved. Got a new tire put on the truck. Took it into town. Got a new tire put on the truck. They did what's called a bead balance, where they put a sack of beads inside your tire before they mount it on the rim, and it's supposed to bust, spread all over the inside of the tire, and become kind of a self-balancing tire deal. It hasn't worked so far. So got a new tire put on, $280. I kind of have a low end put on just because of the financial situation right now. Drove it down the road. Oh yeah, got the tire put on, took it over to their mechanic shop, put it in the mechanic shop. Guy took me up under the truck, showed me everything, showed me the brake pads. The brakes needed adjusting, so he adjusted the brakes, put some hub oil in one of the wheels, but everything else he said looked good. Everything was tight. The tie rod ends, the kingpins, everything, he said everything looked good on it. He couldn't find anything. The transmission looked clean. The rear gearing on the truck differential was leaking a little bit. He said he's seen a lot worse. We put some more in it, and I was on my way. He only charged me for half an hour labor for that, so that was good. But got down the road and it was just shaking like crazy, about 40 to 55 miles an hour. Just, I mean, steering wheel just like this, just craziness. So I said, okay, well, I need to give it a little bit, because they said that sack inside the tire that's got those balancing beads in it they said it would take a little bit, and they would bust and spread all over the inside of the tire, and that would cause it to balance. So I drove it all the way back home, about 30 miles, still doing it. Picked up my trailer, decided to take my trailer back uptown, 30 miles back, just to see how it drove. And still drove like crap. So we'll see. Stay tuned for another update. Alright guys, what's going on? So it's Friday, and day after I got the tire changed on the truck and all. And what I ended up doing was I ended up just going over to Savannah and getting my load for Monday. Truck's still driving like crap, but whatever, I can't keep messing with it and keep losing out on the money. So between 40, 50 miles an hour still shaking like crazy. But as long as I stay on the throttle and go right on through it, it only vibrates for a little bit and then it evens back out. So far I can't tell of any wear on the new tire that I have put on there. So it's not destroying it like it did the last tire. At least not so far. Still driving a little funny. I don't know what the deal is. I feel like it might have something to do with the transmission, because to me it's, I don't know, it might just be paranoid, but the transmission just doesn't seem right to me. But if the truck's running out and it's getting me where I need to go, then I got to go with it. And just kind of hope for the best right now. I couldn't spend a whole nother day. I had a box behind me that I'd had since Wednesday. Wednesday's when I noticed the problem. Thursday is when I took it to have the tire changed and looked at and everything. They couldn't find anything. So it's either got to be an alignment or something out of, maybe the frame out of square. I don't know. But yeah, I'd had that box behind me, that empty, since Wednesday. They were gonna start charging me drayage fees for it if I didn't get it back. So I knew I had to get it back over there today. And my plan initially was to go into Macon making commercial tire and have them put it on an alignment machine or something, and see what they could find out, and then go over to Savannah. But I mean, there's just not enough time in the day to do all that. So then I thought, well, I'll just go to Savannah, drop off my empty trailer, and find somewhere in Savannah to take it. But it rode okay over there, you know, other than that little bit. But you know, if you're on the accelerator and it lasts for an instant and it's gone. But somewhere in between the 40s and the 50s, it shakes for a little bit, and then you power right on through it and it's gone. So we'll just see what happens. Maybe next week, one day, after I get done with my run for the day, I can take it somewhere. But as for right now, the truck is running. You know, it's not getting horrible fuel mileage. It's still getting 6.8, 6.9. And I hooked up to a 42,000, almost a 43,000 pound load that I pulled from Savannah back to my house for a 9 a.m. appointment on Monday. And I mean, it pulled that okay. I was getting 6.8 even pulling that. Something's still not right, and it's probably going to be the biggest headache of my life trying to figure out what it is. Just because there can be so many things. I've investigated and looked and YouTubed and all this kind of stuff, and everybody's got a different cause. I mean, it could literally be 100 things. And I wish so bad that it was just something obvious. Even if it was expensive, just at least be obvious so I know what I'm looking at. You know, but anyway, so I didn't take it anywhere else. Got the tire changed on it. I had it looked at that place. They told me there was no immediate threat. Nothing was loose. The drag links weren't loose. Kingpins were okay. So the guy showed me, I mean, I went under there with him and looked, and we just couldn't find anything that would kill me, you know, going down the road, coming apart or whatever. You know, knock on wood. hope we didn't miss anything. But so far this one's cost me about $400. So not too bad. Got a new tire. Like I said, I hadn't noticed any wear on the tire yet, so it's nothing that's wearing it so bad that it's immediate. You know, I mean, it's still got the little nipples on the tire, the little rubber pieces, so it ain't even worn those off yet. So we'll see. It doesn't seem like it's got as much power as it did for some reason. I don't know if that's just me being paranoid or me paying closer attention than I normally do. But I don't have any check engine light or anything like that on, so I don't know. But yeah, I took it over there. They changed the tire. They put these things in it called balancing beads. Instead of putting a weight on the tire and balancing it like they normally would, they told me that these balancing beads work better. It's a bag of small, almost powder-like beads, and they bust out of that bag when the tire gets to spinning, and they spread over the inside of the tire to the unweighted portions, and they weight it wherever it needs to be weighted just by the tire spinning. They did tell me that that bag could take a little bit to bust, and until it did, it would shake still. But just yesterday alone, I drove at 60 something miles, and I mean, it was still vibrating. It seems like it would have busted, you know, within that amount of time, and then it still vibrated today. So I'm sure that bag has burst and done its deal in there, so it's got to be something else. But we'll just see. If anybody's got any ideas, man, please help me out. If anybody sees this video that's experienced, help me out. I'm struggling here. And it's not even so much a money issue. I mean, it is, because it hit at a bad time. Like I said, we've been running 3 days, 2 days a week. And for the first time in 2 months, I was gonna run every day this week. And then this crap happened with the tire and with the shaking and all. And I still only ran 3 days. So yeah, money's tight, but money aside, I hate being told that they can't find anything wrong, and it can be so bad at sometimes. So it's not something that I can just let ride, you know. I already let it go today and didn't have anything done with it today, and plan on running on Monday, and probably the rest of the week without doing anything if it'll go and it'll work. But for the first time, I'm experiencing some true stress since I've been doing the owner-operator thing and owning my own truck. It started out smooth sailing, you know. Hadn't even had to worry about a truck payment coming out. And then, you know, started to, you know, run 3 days a week, and that started to hurt. But I wasn't having to shell out anything extra for the truck, just normal maintenance. You know, I have $250 a week taken out for maintenance. So, you know, that was going back, but wasn't having to use it. So it was just peace of mind building up, you know, in my maintenance account. And I had to cut down on the spending a little bit so, you know, I could make the truck payment every month. But other than that, really no worries. And then this happened, and I can't figure out what's going on.
So for the first time, I'm losing sleep over it. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if losing sleep isn't something that you're willing to deal with, or the stress isn't something you're willing to deal with, stay company, or at best, try for somebody else. I've had several thoughts here lately, like I should have just kept on driving that other guy's truck. I got all the benefits of being an owner-operator without any of the worry. Somebody else's truck, somebody else's problem, but I still got to call all the shots, you know, where I wanted to go, what loads I wanted to take, when I wanted to work and when I didn't. And didn't have any of the headache. The trade-off was I drove a crappy truck, and that makes the job a lot less enjoyable when you don't have the proper tools, or you got crappy tools to perform your job. It makes for a lot less fun doing your job. So I took on the headache and took on the burden of all this, and got some nicer equipment with better creature comforts. But now I'm facing these problems, just like I did driving his truck, except now I gotta pay for all the crap. So I'm gonna stick in, you know, I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna do my best and do whatever I can and keep striving, because nothing worth doing is gonna be easy, you know. You don't get somewhere by just taking it easy or taking the easy route. That's what I keep telling myself. So I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna do all I can, but in the end, if God wants it to be, it'll be. You know, that's what I tell myself at the end of every day. What else can you tell yourself, really? You know, if you believe in the Creator, you believe in and trust in what He wants and what He thinks is best for you. If He wants you to have it, He'll have it. If He doesn't, then you won't. And people believe different things. You believe what you want. I'm not. This is just me, you know. Just me expressing my thoughts and my points of view. Much respect to you for whatever you believe. I love everybody no matter what. So that's just my view on it. And it helps me. It helps me. It does. And I struggle and I get mad. And I get sad. I get sad and irritable thinking about it. And you know, short with the people around me, and you know, it sucks for them and it's not fair to them, and I just really have to let it go. A lot of this is my fault. I wouldn't be nearly as stressed out right now if I hadn't been taking such a big cut of them fat paychecks, you know. I say fat, they're fat for me, you know, $2,200 in a week. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't spending $2,200 in a week, but I told myself when I started doing this, I said, you know, if I get a $2,200 paycheck for the first 6 months or so, I'm only going to take $500 a week. And that was easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. You know, I started making those paychecks, and I mean, I didn't do bad, I don't think. I tried not to spend over half of what I made, which means if I made $2,000 in a week, I try not to spend over $1,000, and try not to touch the other 1,000. And I always kept around, you know, 5,000 in the bank. Around truck payment time, it might drop to about 2,900, and then the next week it'd be back up to 2,000. But that's when I was running 5 days a week. And right before it started getting bad, I bought a truck, just a little this truck actually, a little $2,000 truck, because all we had was my wife's truck, and I didn't have a truck. I had a pickup truck, and it started having some problems, and never got it fixed or never dealt with it, so it was out of commission. So I bought this little truck just to get around. I parked my truck down the road from my house, and I was having to drop my trailer and bobtail to the house, about a mile to my house every day. So when I got done every day, I was dropping that trailer and bobtailing down to the house, and then the next morning I'd have to get up, bobtail back down there, hook up, and then go on about my way. And I said, well, I'll just, you know, buy a little cheap truck, and you know, I'll just you know, get in my personal truck and drive down there and park it. My big truck is sitting down there, and I don't have to drop and hook and all. So that was really bad, because I spent that $2,000. Like I said, I was keeping about $5,000 in the bank, just to be perfectly candid with y'all. I don't go all over the United States, so I don't feel like I need to keep a ton of money, you know, in the bank. I'm home every day, so it ain't like, you know, I drive to Colorado and get stuck and, you know, have to pay all this money out there on the road to get it fixed, and hotels and all this and that, you know. You know, like I said, I was keeping around 5,000 in the bank, and you know, then I dropped a couple $1,000s on this little truck, and then paychecks immediately started shrinking to you know, $1,200, $900, all the way down to $600 in a week. And that's being an owner-operator. That's paying for your own truck, everything. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. And it's just been impossible to get that bank account built back up before the next truck payment hits. And next truck payment hits, and you know, I've told y'all before, my truck payments are $1,290 a month, so $1,300. And you know, that date rolls around, and boom, $1,300 is gone. And by the time you started to build it back up, boom, it's hit again. And you know, then I started having these troubles with the truck, and $400 don't sound like a lot, but you know, when you made $600 that week, and you spending $400 on getting it fixed, and your next paycheck ain't gonna be but $600, and you got a $1,300 truck payment, and you got a couple thousand, or you know, $1,500 sitting in your account, you know, it's coming out faster than you can put it in. And the struggle's real, is all I got to say. And you know, hit me up if you got any specific questions about it. But right now it sucks. You know, I am not doing good as these guys out here balling with Landstar, or on the DAT boards and all this and that. Man, I've thought about just whatever, just getting on with Landstar. At least then, you know, I'm making $3,400 in one load that takes me 2 days to deliver. You know, then that's some money. You know, you do 2 or 3 of them a week. Some of these guys are taking home $4,000 a week. Then if crap happens to your truck, you can handle it. You know, hell, if I was running 5 days a week, I could handle it. No big deal. But you know, it lured me into a false sense of security when I started doing this, because I was working every day, and literally, like, no kidding, it was harder to spend it faster than you were making it. You really couldn't get in trouble, because say you were to go out and spend, you spend over the course of 5 days spending $900 just on this and that. Friday there was $2,000 more in there, and your paycheck, your truck payment, your truck note's $1,300, and your insurance is $300 or $400. Boom, it's just going in there every Friday. And when I was getting paid that kind of money, it seemed like I was getting paid every other day. The money was just so good. It seemed like I was getting paid. Friday would roll around, and it seemed like before I knew it, the next Friday was done rolled around. I hadn't spent, it wasn't even trying really, but I hadn't spent, half of my paycheck. Say I made $2,000. I had maybe spent $900, $1,000 of it, and that's without me being disciplined like I was supposed to. It's just that next Friday rolled around before I could spend any more, and then there was $2,000 more in there, and it was just kind of taking care of itself. And I just made a bad move, I think, buying this truck when I did. Although I had no idea that work was gonna drop off like it did. But I should have been saving for a rainy day. I was been preached that, like, Chucky, you don't ever know what happened. There, literally, in the biggest sense of the word, there are so many moving parts. The truck and all of its moving parts, and all of the logistics of taking loads, delivering loads, not getting loads. So many moving parts, literally. And I should have done what I said I was gonna do. Take $500 out, save the rest. Sit on it, build it up. Then when these hard times hit, I'd have had $10,000 in the bank to deal with it. And I'd have had not a worry in the world. Been doing it since January. Would have had no worry in the world. Maybe not 10,000, maybe like, let's see, $1,500 a week, in your truck payment. Maybe like, yeah, maybe about like 8, something like that. But still, no, that's a piece of 8,000. It's a good piece of mind, So anyway, that's enough ranting. I hadn't got the truck fixed. It's running down the road. It's shaking. Tire looks good so far. The new tire that I just had put on it looks good so far. We'll see what happens. Take it easy, guys, and I'll be back at you as soon as possible, hopefully with some good news.